guys, and welcome back to another video. My name's Destiny. We do book things here, and tonight we're going to talk about the books I read in December. So for the month of December, I finished 15 books, and that sounds like a crazy number, but most of them were audiobooks, and I've done a lot of traveling, hence why you've not seen my face. And so that number is not as big as it seems. Let's start with what I finished what my last book of 2023 was, and we'll work our way backwards. So the last thing I finished was Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. I'm gonna put them beside my head, probably here. There's more room. But Rebecca, if you have never read Rebecca, I highly recommend reading it. You will not see that ending coming. It is a mindfuck for real. Rebecca follows a nameless narrator, and she is the basically companion to a grumpy old woman. And when they go to a hotel and they're staying there for a couple weeks, and she meets a man, and the grumpy old lady gets sick and is stuck in bed, and so she ends up spending a lot of time with this man. And when it's time to leave, he invites her to the dining room and says, either you can leave with her and go to America, or you can marry me and go back to my home. And his home has a name, I can't remember it off the top of my head. It's been about a week since I finished it. And she decides to marry him. He never says I love you. He doesn't get on one knee. Like, he's not very romantic. But she's like, yes, I will marry you. And really, my brain's trying to think of the name of the home. Anyway, so she ends up going there. And everywhere she goes, she feels like the first wife who passed is hanging everywhere. Her name was Rebecca, and she feels like she's an interloper in Rebecca's home. And oh my goodness, it is a older title. It's very much backwards. It is a classic. I can't remember exactly when it was written, but I had started it and got about 100 pages in, because I looked at my print copy. Got about 100 pages in and just could not keep it. Did not hold my attention. I was not interested. Just none of that. This time I picked it up on audio and listened to it, and I was very much more I was very entertained more than the last time. I found myself hooked. Like, I wanted to know what was happening. There's this sense of foreboding and this eeriness, and like, you feel like Rebecca is a ghost behind you. The entire book is so good. I did not think I'd be sitting here raving about a classic being my last book of 2023, and maybe my favorite of December, because it was that good. I gave Rebecca 5 stars. I will be rereading it physically so I can annotate, but it was just chef's kiss. Next, I finished Money Shot Volume 3. So obviously I read Money Shot Volume 1 and 2 as well this month. This is a comic series that was sent to me quite lovingly for review. They actually sent me a whole bunch of comics. And boy, Money Shot, there will be a full review for it, so I'm just going to give you like a synopsis here, tell you what my ratings for each volume was. But if you want a full breakdown, full review, you'll have to check out that video. It should come out early January, earlier than this, so it should already be out when this comes out, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm kind of filming this out of order. But Money Shot follows a group of scientists who realize that their funding is going down the drain, and they decide to turn to corn, if you get my meaning, corn, to fund said experiments. And they use their invention called the Money Shot to travel to other planets, other universes, to make said corn, and all the antics and happenings they get into. It is a wild ride. It's so good. I gave Volume 3 3 stars, Volume 2 3 stars, and Volume 1 I gave 5 stars. They were really good. Honestly, they were a quick little read. I enjoyed them a lot. I personally thought they could be just a little steamier, but that's just my own smutty brain. Next, I finished Take a Hint, Danny Brown by Talia Hibbert. This was a 5-star read. You know, I've been avoiding those cartoony covered romances for a little while because I'm like, they're probably closed door or fade to black, not steamy. They're not as steamy as my Katie Roberts, but they have some steam to them. I have to give them that. They got some spice. This one, I absolutely adored Danni. I adored everything about her, and I adored her partner. I love them so much that I want to read about the rest of the Brown sisters. My library just does not have the other two. I can't remember what the name of them are for the life of me. I know it's about the other two Brown sisters that we met in this one. And this one's technically the second one of this series. But they do read as standalones because I was able to read Take a Hint without any issues. Get a Life, Chloe Brown's the first one. The Brown sisters are so entertaining. Oh, she got on the bookshelf. And they're very tight-knit and loving. Danni is a workaholic who has been basically mistreated, in my opinion. All of her other partners have seen her dedication to her job and her lack of taking care of herself, basically forgetting to eat, forgetting to drink her water, getting so wrapped up in something so passionately that she forgets what time it is. They see that as a problem where it shouldn't be, to an extent. Like, you should have some empathy and some understanding for your partner. And so when the security guard that she's fake dating, it does have fake dating trope, does that for her, it is like a wild mind fuck for her that she really thinks he's just faking it and he's just being himself. I absolutely loved it. The next one I finished was A Whole New World by Liz Braswell. This was the first twisted fairy tale or twisted tale that Disney did. I think this one was borderline interesting. I gave it 4.5. I think it's my favorite besides The Princess and the Frog retelling that I've read. No, I'm wrong. It would have to go Mulan, Princess and the Frog, and then this one, because the Mulan one is just chef's kiss. But A Whole New World. It follows what if Aladdin never opened the lamp. Basically, what if Aladdin never got the lamp? I think that the tagline should have been, what if Jafar ends up with a lamp? Because that's more of what happened here. As far as the original fairy tale, it still follows Aladdin. He still goes down in the cave. He still gets the lamp. But as he's coming up, instead of keeping the lamp for himself and pulling himself up, he hands it to Jafar, and Jafar knocks him back down. And Jafar gets a hold of the lamp and keeps it. So I think it should be, what if Jafar ended up with the lamp? And that's just kind of where the story goes. Again, I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4.5 stars. Not bad. The next one I finished. I read Lady Jane. My Lady Jane. I cannot remember the author's names. There's 3 of them. I'll put the cover up here. Oh my goodness. This is the epitome of, I did not think this book was for me. My library had it available. I had no audiobook to read. I was at work and thought, why not give it a try? If I hate it, there can be a rant. And I fell in love. So, My Lady Jane follows, it's British history. And I was giggling from the beginning because they were like, we're so sorry about what we're fixing to do to your history. British people, I apologize for that. And it's following, I don't know my British monarchs. Let me not lie to you. I do not know my British monarchs very well. But I think it's following King George's son. and everyone thinks he's dying, and he decides to make his cousin Jane the next queen in line. Jane is a bookworm. She's awkward, and she wants nothing to do with being a queen. And no one really likes her because she'd rather have a book, her nose in a book, than be at a party. My kind of girl. And shit happens. I don't want to spoil anything. I will say, in this universe they have created, the king has turned into a lion multiple times and ate messengers because he did not like what they said. And so there's a race of people, a race of people who can turn into animal forms. Some of them can control it, some of it can't. And Jane gets married off, which is not, I think it's in the synopsis, so it's not a spoiler. Jane gets married off to a man who spends his days as a horse. Like an actual horse. And he loves it. He loves running, like he wants to be a horse. And she gets married to him. So yeah, that's a thing. It's entertaining. It's hilarious. The humor is beautiful. And if you've not read it, I highly recommend. Next, I read one on my little sister's recommendation, actually. My sister, who is 12, Nevaeh, she has started reading a lot, from what I can tell. And she decided that this is a book. She read it and was like, Issy, you need to read it. I think you'll really, really enjoy it. My library had the audiobook available. The story of this month, I picked it up, and that is 4 Dead Queens, and I can't remember who it's by. This one is a murder mystery that's really interesting. So you are following I can't remember her name, but you're following a street rat who steals to stay alive. She's a part of a group of thieves, and her boss picks out a mark and says, go steal his pad, basically. She said, okay. She goes and does it, and ends up, I don't want to give you, I'm trying to decide what's spoiler and what's not. She ends up in a situation that she learns about something that's about to happen and has to prevent it. You're also following a separate timeline where the palace is in shambles. There are 4 queens in the palace. Each one it rules over a district, and those districts have walls between them to keep them separate because there was a big war, and that was the easiest way. So each section has their own queen that sits on this throne, on their throne. And each queen does not really interact with one another, other than the fact they all live in the palace. They cannot leave the palace, and that's how they've kept peace for so long. And you find out the queens are dying one by one. You find out through one timeline how the queens are dying and everything, and you're following the street rat in the second timeline and her trying to figure out the mystery. I gave this 4 stars. It was so good. The end had me shocked. I was like, what is going on? I tried guessing it multiple times. Got it wrong every time. I gave it 4 stars because now that I know how it ended and now I know where it was headed, it's not something I can see myself rereading, because most of the driving for me was to figure out this mystery. The next one I finished is a romantasy that, honestly, I read it because, why can't I think of her name? Olivia, from Olivia Reads a Latte, read it and she said, it was good. I think that's the one she said. I watched all of her weekly vlogs. I watched them while I'm at work working. So forgive me if I'm wrong, Olivia. But that is Assistant to the Villain. I gave this 5 stars. I am mad the second one's not out. You could have warned me. Or Destiny could have just looked it up. But I wished I had a warning sign for that. Assistant to the Villain is exactly what it sounds like. Our main character is tramping through the woods one day. She had just went to the next town for a job fair, and ended up giving the job that she got away to someone who she thought needed it more. She's on her way back to her brother and sister, and has to tell them, I didn't find a job. Well, I got one, but then, gave it away. And as she's walking through the woods, she comes upon the villain. Like, literally, they call him the villain. And he is hiding from guards. And he pulls her down and is like, shut up and just stay here. Shut up and stay here. And so she gets trapped with him. And as they're, like, running from the guards, she's like, oh my god. Not only did I give my fucking job away, not only do I have to go home with no way to make money and no way to fucking support anyone, my dad's dying of this weird illness that don't know how, like, don't know, there's no cure or anything. Now I'm stuck with the villain and I'm going to probably die or be arrested, and like is venting. And as they get done, like they get away from the guards and everything, they get back to his house and he takes her upstairs and goes, so when can you show up for work? And she's like, what the f are you talking about, man? He goes, when can you show up for work? You said you needed a job, right? You can be my assistant. And that's kind of how the book starts. It's good. It's actually really, really good. If you are a spicy reader, do not pick this one up. It has 0 spice in it. It is very slow burn and kind of enemies to lovers, but no spice happens. And the end, I'm just like, how are you going to leave us like that? How are you going to leave us like that? I need the next one now, please. I don't care if it's not done. I don't care if it's a manuscript. I need the next one now. Next, I finished Scarred by Emily McNair. I could be saying that wrong. I'm sorry. This one is the second one in that series. You do not have to read them in order. I thought you did. They're all different stories. This one is kind of enemies to lovers, dark romance, very steamy. And it does have royalty. So our main character is a girl who is looking out to get revenge on the king, on the royal family for murdering her father. And so she has been keeping herself pure, keeping herself up so that she can marry the king. And so the king has sent for her and they are now engaged. They're about to be married. And his brother, the Scarred Prince, who is looking to overturn his brother, basically, and obviously something happens there. I gave it 4.5 stars. I thought it was really, really good. I really, really enjoyed it. I think the political intrigue is what pushed me to read more than really the romance. 4.5 because I would definitely reread it again. I just don't think it's something that I would reach for a reread constantly. Next, I finished Bunny by Mona Wad. Holy batshit. There you go. There's my review. Holy batshit. I gave it 4.5 stars because I still know what the fuck happened. I read the whole book. I even re-listened to the audiobook twice. I still don't know what the fuck happened. That is a fever dream I've ever heard of one. And I'm sure that's what it feels like to be on acid without taking acid. If you have never heard of Bunny by Mona Awad, this follows a girl who is in college. She's part of a small creative writing class. There's only 5 of them. Her and the bunnies. The bunnies are 4 grown women who refer to each other as Bunny. And I don't mean just like one of their nicknames is Bunny. No, they call everyone is Bunny. And so it's a little awkward, a little cultish, and you're just like, fuck. And they take off from there. It's very weird. Do not go into this book thinking it is normal. It is not. It is weird as shit. Just FYI, it is weird. And I want to read it again. And again. And again. I need to understand this, and I don't think I ever will, and I don't want her to explain it. Because if she explains it, it's going to ruin its magic, and I know that. And fever dream. Next, I finished The Reformatory by Tenera. I'm not even going to try it. I can see it written out in my head, but I know I'm going to pronounce it wrong. This one is set in the Antebellum South, where our main character, it makes me sad to think about it. He is walking down the street one day with his sister. his mama has passed. His dad is in Chicago trying to make money, running from the law, basically. For crimes he did not commit. His sister is approached and manhandled by a white boy, and he kicks him. And he is sent to the reformatory. He is sent to a boys' home to sit out a sentence of, I think, 6 months. And most boys don't come back. Their moms get a phone call. He's gone. We buried him. For most of them. When he gets there, he learns he can see haints, which are ghosts. And the warden decides that he's going to be his new haint boy. He's going to be the one that hunts down these ghosts, and so that the warden can retrieve them. And it is horrifying what these boys went through. It is horrifying to think that this 12-year-old boy, who did not know he could see these ghosts, did not know they existed, is thrown into a place where he is seeing all the horrible, despicable, disgusting things that were done to these poor boys repeated back to him by said boy's ghost, and no one had empathy for him. No one. It is an uncomfortable read, but a necessary one, in my opinion. I loved every minute of it. I listened to it on Spotify, so this is not sponsored or anything like that, but if you pay for Spotify Premium, each month you get 15 hours of listening time from them for free, and it's just, they have audiobooks that you can just pick up. I think I have like 5 hours left this month, and I don't know if they roll over. I'll find out next. I need to find out if they roll over, because if they do, I want to save up my 5 hours I have left for this month, so that I can, or my 10 hours I've left for this month, because I want to listen to the Britney Spears memoir next year. But I listened to it there. It was wonderful. It was free. If you have Spotify Premium, definitely check it out. The Reformatory is on there, so you definitely can read this. Again, it was 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. It is my favorite horror of the year. Like, favorite. I think the only one that would be next in line is This River Has Teeth, which is a speculative horror that I don't think gets enough mentions, but yeah, so good. The next book I finished, we're almost close, we have 3 more. The next one I finished was Every Breath by Nicholas Sparks. I gave it 3.5 stars. I was angry. And this could just be me. This could just be me. And this is just my opinion. No hate to anyone, but I think if you're going to set a book where your main character is from Africa, and it's not based on a true story, which at first I thought it was, just based on how he opened it up and everything, why not make them African American and go ahead and get that representation? Why not? Just why not? Like, I understand that not every book has to be about Black people. I get that. But for me, for this particular book, I just felt like, since our main male love interest was born and raised in Africa, from Africa, we could have done better representation. We could have learned more about his life and more about life in Africa, and not just what you can read from a guide, like a travel guide. That's all I'm saying here. Like, I feel like very little research went into this, other than what are some guideposts in Africa? Okay, cool. What are some of the things you see on a safari? Okay, cool. What do they call the bush? Okay, cool. Let's go. There was not much thought put into this. I gave it 3.5 stars. I was really entertained. I really enjoyed it. I listened to the entire thing, and I was with him. I thought, okay, it's based on a true story. He found these letters. Okay, I understand why, my complaints don't meet it, because it was based on a true story. And then there was a section at the end of the audiobook where he's talking about how he likes to insert he likes books that insert the author into the book and blah 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 blah, and that everything in here was fictional. And I thought, so you could have made the changes that I think you should have. Got more representation, because from what I have researched since then, all of his books are pretty whitewashed, and you just didn't. Okay, cool. Next. So the second thing I finished in December was House of Roots and Ruin by Aaron C. Craig. I think I have that right. This was my birthday gift from my lovely partner. She asked me for books that I was interested in. We were scrolling on Amazon shopping, and we're FaceTiming, and she's like, what are you looking at? I was like, books on Amazon. And she's like, okay, send me some of the ones you're looking at. So I screenshot her a bunch. And this one was one of the new releases I was desperate to get my hands on. The library hadn't got it yet, and I was going to reread the first one and all that, and just decided not to. And she got it for my birthday, and I was so grateful. I gave this 5 stars. House of Roots and Ruin follows the youngest of the Thalmus sisters, Verity. And this does take place after the events of House of Salt and Sorrow, but if you had no interest in reading House of Salt and Sorrow, you can go into House of Roots and Ruin without reading that one. But House of Roots and Ruin does spoil House of Salt and Sorrow, so you do want to read them in order, because there are minor spoilers in that book for House of Salt and Sorrow. So in House of Salt and Sorrow, you meet 12 Thalmus sisters. When the book starts up, 4 of them have already passed, and you're at the 4th one who has passed funeral, and you meet Annalie. Annalie is, I think she's like number 6 or something, high enough up there that she's like a teenager when this happens. And Verity, the main character of House of Roots and Ruin, is the youngest, and she's like 6 when this all comes down. And House of Salt and Sorrow is based on the 12 Dancing Princesses. If you've never heard of it, if you Google it, you may fear this. You will spoil this book for yourself. It doesn't stick as tightly to that. Let me tell you that right now. It does not stick as tightly to that, but there are minor spoilers there. And the way I like to talk about these books is House of Salt and Sorrow feels like a cold, wet December day. You can just feel the cold and dank as you're reading that book. You feel cold and dank. You want a blanket. You want a cup of hot tea. Like, it is so atmospheric. And House of Roots and Ruin is like sitting in the middle of a greenhouse in the middle of summer. Like, it's moist. It's humid. That's the word I'm looking for. It is humid. It is spring. You can smell the plants coming out of this book. Both of them are so atmospheric, and she does so well at that. I have not read Small Favors, and I really, really want to, because I think that it would be just next level. I think that based on how much I love these two, I'm hoping I love Small Favors. I know it has something to do with the two. But Roots and Ruin follows Verity. Verity realizes that not everything is as well as she thought it was. Verity can still see ghosts. She's still speaking to them. The housemaid that she has loved and that has raised her, basically, who has been there helping her do her hair and everything, she finds out that she has been dead since she was 6. And Verity thought she'd realized you were me. And now she is running away from the house that she has grown up in, because she does not trust her sister. She didn't really trust herself. She doesn't believe she's seeing ghosts, and ends up at Canatelli? I could be saying that wrong. Again, I've only read the word and not actually heard the word. And she goes there to paint the portrait of the Duke's son. And shit starts going down. Let me just put it that way. Shit starts going down. I did not see this the way this went. The way it went, I didn't see it coming. I absolutely adored this book. I am so happy I have my own copy. I annotated as I read it. I will be rereading it. anything else she puts out, I will be reading Small Favors. Anything else she puts out past that, I will definitely read, because again, these two books have shown how atmospheric her writing is, and I could get lost in it 100 times over. The first thing I finished in December, and the last book we're going to talk about in this video, is The Dark Olympus Shorts by Katie Roberts. This one, I signed up for her email list, question mark, I think. That's how I got this, but it was sent to me. It was one of the free ones you could get, I think, for her email list. I think. And it had two shorts in it. It was Medusa and Calypso's relationship, which was adorable and made my very lesbian heart very, very happy. I love female love. I love sapphic stories. If you have any recommendations, leave them below. And the second one was the two Hadeses get to meet, which was what I was wanting to read and was desperate to read. So if you've never read a Katie Roberts book, she has two different series, the Dark Olympus series and the Wicked Villain series. In each one, you meet a Hades. Hades in the Dark Olympus series rules the underworld. You meet him in Neon Gods, where Persephone is running from Zeus because her mother Demeter is trying to marry her off to Zeus, and she does not want that. There are rumors that Zeus murdered his first wife, and she's like, "Fuck you, I'm not doing that." Takes off running away from the party, and Zeus's men are chasing her, and she ends up crossing over the river Styx, ends up in the lower city is what they call it, and meets the boogeyman, Hades. Everyone thought the last Hades died 30 years ago, and kind of found out, nope, his son's alive. And he has been Hades this entire time, and no one has known. And now Persephone is in Hades' hands. And it's a romance, so you can tell where that's going. In the Wicked Villain series, you meet Hades. He is a club owner. He is the BDSM club owner. And he falls in love with Meg and he has a whole movie, Hercules. Meg and Hercules, and they become a couple. And Katie reveals that Hades from Wicked Villains is the father of Hades from Dark Olympus, and neither one knows they're alive. They don't know each other's alive. And so in this short, the two meet, and the two worlds kind of collide, and you get to watch them figure out how to be father and son. It was fucking adorable. I gave it 5 stars. Not only did I get the sapphic love for the first short, but then I got to watch the father and son reunion. Heartwarming, short little read. Absolutely love it. And there you have it. Those are the 15 books I finished in the month of December. For 2023, I am closing the door with 175 books read. Do you know how beautiful a number that is? I'm planning on filming a 2023 short or 2023 wrap up, and talking about all the books I've read. That will probably come out late January, because I want to do a lot of research and see what are St. Martin Press books and make sure they're omitted. And I think my favorite of the year may be a St. Martin's Press book, so I won't be talking about it. I may wait to do it until the boycott is done. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do right now. Yeah, there's all the ones I finished. I hope y'all had a great 2023. I did. I had a great December. I just have been so busy that y'all haven't seen me. So this should be going up. I'm filming this out of order. This should go up the second week of January. So you can expect a vlog from me this Saturday next. So not, I'm remembering the weeks right. Not this Saturday. There's a different video going up, but the next Saturday. So the third weekend, you should get a vlog from me, hopefully. So yeah, I hope to see y'all in my next one. Thanks for watching. I know this video is a little longer than the ones I put out before it, but I read 15 books and I want to talk about them. So I'll see you on my next one. Bye, guys.